one more reference to the Honorable former Finance Minister. He accused me, saying you did not speak anything about the poor. You have not at all spoken. You spoke more about your Prime Minister. Of course, I feel very proud. I feel honored to be in the ministry along with the other ministers who are guided by the Prime Minister, a Prime Minister who is visionary. I don't have anything to hide that. I will say it any number of times. He's the Prime Minister of this country. In every popularity ratings, he's at the top. But our country, there are some people who suffer from visceral hatred of the Prime Minister, but that's their problem. I will say one thing here, sir. I didn't speak about the poor as an allegation. I want to know, what is that poor that you're talking about? When again, your former president said, poverty does not mean, and I'm quoting here, sir, poverty does not mean the scarcity of food, money, or material things. If one possesses self-confidence, then one can overcome it, said the Congress leader. So he also said it's a state of mind. I've not named the person, but we know who it is. So, to continue the quotation, sir, to continue the quotation, if you want, I'll leave it here. This is also reported in the media. Poverty is just a state of mind. It does not mean scarcity of food, money, or material things. If one possesses self-confidence, then one can overcome poverty. Was the gyan given to us? I want to ask, what is that poverty that I didn't refer? Is this the poverty? My mental state is the poverty that I should have referred? I want to ask, be clear on what poverty. So the budget, sir, actually speaks of stability. It continues some of the policies of last year. And that policy will guide us towards next 25 years. We will see modern infrastructure. I didn't think I said anything which is going to amuse any one of us, sir. India's 25 years, the coming 25 years are going to be important. No wonder we are calling it as Amrit Kaal. And these 25 years, if there is no vision...
Please.
If we do not have a vision for India at 100, sir, we will suffer similarly as was the first 70 years when 65 years were with the Congress, which had no vision except for supporting, building and benefiting one family. Except for that, there was no vision in this country. In spite of the supply side disruptions, India's CPI inflation now is at only 6.2%. I want to just highlight the fact that India's the inflation CPI, which is what is used for assessing the Mehngai, as we say in Hindi, is at 6.2, whereas for a smaller contraction during the global financial crisis of only 2.12 reduction in gain, not a negative growth in that sense, reduction in gain. What was the CPI inflation then, sir, in 2008-9? Sir, for a reduction in gain of 2.12 lakh crores, the CPI inflation of that time was 9.1%, meaning inflation was at 9.1%, the CPI, for a reduction of only 2.12 lakh crores, which is big enough. Global financial crisis hit us. That was the reduction in gain. Whereas the pandemic hit us and the loss to the GDP was 9.57%, and our management of the inflation is that it is only 6.2%. I want to highlight this for the benefit of all our opposition respected members who periodically say, look at the inflation, look at the inflation. I want to say, lesser crisis, you couldn't handle the inflation. You led it to 9.1. We are taking care of it, and it is remaining at 6.1% only. And I agree, there are instances where we need to work more to get more pulses in the ground, more edible oils in the ground. We are working on it. But a smaller crisis you couldn't handle with very experienced finance minister. So we went in for a budget which would stand for continuity, which will be bringing in stability to the economy and predictability in taxation, and also a vision for India at 100. So the continuity point which is very critical at a stage when the economy is coming out of the pandemic, focused on growth. The last budget also, we had focused on growth because that's how we could get people out of the difficult situation that we had gone into because of the pandemic. And that growth focus continues in this budget as well. One other thing which continues with the growth focus is in order to attain the growth, we wanted to undertake public expenditure in building infrastructure for a modern India, 21st century India, and an India which is going towards India at 100. Technology and digital adaptation are also the instruments through which we want to work during this Amrit Kal, so that India at 100 would have the lead advantage which many countries are just starting to do. We would be leading in that field of digital technology and technology adaptation, leading to better transparency in governance and accountability also. These are two very important, other than the fact that it is easing common man's financial inclusion process or education or health related matters. It also shows in a very transparent manner how governance takes place in this country. So technology, for the sake of all these benefits, are also being prioritized in this budget.
It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.